So, guys, we are live today. Okay. Rosa Horan. Divine blessings, Rosa Horan.
I switched to iPhone. Will I get support from Apple? Absolutely. If you ever need it, iPhone, you can call, chat.
I'm taking time to say hi, guys. Hi, everyone. How are you? How is your life? How is your Sunday? Give us a notice that you can hear me and you can see me. So we're waiting for guys to come in. Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Ryan. Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. I would like to know, guys, who can hear me and who can see me? Give us a 1 and a 2, as we always do. Divine blessings, Rosa Horan. Rosa Horan. Wikipedia. Happy Sunday, everyone. It's nice to have you guys on board. We are going to discuss a few things today. Wikipedia 1 and 2. Beautiful. So, I'm going to spend some time to wait for people. The first 15 minutes is normally saying hello and welcoming everyone that is on board, giving you guys a shout out. I would like to give a special shout out to Ryan. Ryan, thank you very much for the support. Last night. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And another shout out will go to Phillips as well. Thank you very much for the support as well. All the support you guys send in, you guys chip in. I appreciate each and every one of you. It shows that at least you appreciate what I do. So we are spending a little bit, few minutes here and there to say hi to guys. Wikipedia is on board. Rosa Horan is on board. Ryan is on board. Who else do we have here? Who else is online, guys? Where are watching from? Who is on board and where watching from? I would like to know. Who is watching us and where you're watching from? Special shout out to everyone who is on board. I'm reading your comments, ladies and gentlemen. And I appreciate each and every one of you who is here to watch the video. San Diego, California, Rosa Horan, California, San Diego. Curtis from USA. Blue Frog is from Buffalo, New York. Then we have here Aqua Whoosh, at Demonwood, America. That is Aqua, Miss Aqua Whoosh at Demonwood. How did you come up with that name, Aqua Whoosh? Aqua Whoosh at Demonwood. Okay. We have Blue Frog. We have Michelle Richardson from San Diego. San Diego. I don't know a lot about the US, guys, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just Blue Frog, Michelle. Aqua Whoosh. So you have the name from the Father in heaven. That is Aqua Whoosh at Demonwood. I'm saying hi to guys. I'm saying hi to you guys. I'm giving a shout out before we start, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in today. Sunday. I'm very sure that you have not seen me live on a Sunday. Today, I'm not having my daughter, so I have a chance to come here and we do some, we speak some, you know what I mean? Kenyatta. Hello, Kenyatta. Shalom family, Nakita. I'm reading your comments, ladies and gentlemen. Serafine, I see you as well. West Coast. Oh, that is Michelle. Okay. And of course, we have Crystal Geta. Crystal Geta, shalom. Thank you very much, Michelle. I love your channel. Where was that? I love your channel. Calls you on those demons. I appreciate you, Aqua Whoosh. I hope I'm saying it the right way, actually. That is CUS05. Hello there, C, Mrs. or Mr. CUS05. How are you? How are you doing today? How is everything? Today we are going in, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to talk about the old souls and the chosen ones. So there is a few things I've discovered along my journey as well. I keep on learning every day, but of course, every time I have something, I come and I share it with you guys. Whenever I get an upload, a download, I share it with you as well. So I learn, but there's also things I've learned on this journey, so-called journey of spiritual growth and evolution. Toronto, naturally yours. You're welcome to the forum. I'm taking some time to say hi. It's a Sunday afternoon. Time check, 3:16. But of course, you guys in the US, you have a different time zone. So I think you guys could be around 9 in the morning. If I'm not mistaken, it should be around 9 for some of you guys in the US and Canada as well. So the time zone is not the same as well. So like I've said, I've given a special shout out to Philip and Ryan for the support and donations. And as well, there is some other people over the years that have been supporting me on my journey. I appreciate each and every one of you. Sometimes I'm not able to read the comments when I'm doing the video, so I use the chance when it just started to get to read a couple of these comments. The alert. I saw the alert. Yes, 9:17 in the US, exactly. 9:18 approximately at this moment. So 7 or 17 in California. Michelle, you're up early on a Sunday. 10:20 Eastern Standard Time. 10 a.m. So different time zones, but it doesn't matter as well. Different time zones, different countries, different nations. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in today. Today's video, we're going to talk about the chosen ones. You can disable the alarm. That is CUS05. You can disable it. You have a choice to disable it if you don't want to be disrupted. So I was supposed to do this video last night, but it was a very busy evening and I couldn't come on board. But I managed to do a very quick video that I uploaded in the evening. And so today I have time to do this because I'm not having my daughter with me. Normally I tend to have my daughter on the weekends, but my daughter's not here today. So we have the chance to speak, to chat, to interact, to share, to inspire. Okay. The video glitched a little bit. In the future, I'm going to ask some. I'm going to ask for moderators, because sometimes when I'm doing the videos, I cannot read through the whole comments and everything. So sometimes I think I'm going to need some moderators to help me check in the videos, so we can filter out the Decepticons, because the Decepticons always are coming around and watching as well. So, chosen ones and old souls. What is the difference? I'm going to focus on Denzo should come to the States. I'm going to come to the States. Actually, most likely this year, very soon I'm coming to the States. So I'll let my followers know where, when, the details. Now, there is a difference between chosen people and old souls. Just want to say, Denzo, your video has been helping me out. I appreciate you, Rosa Horan. There's a difference between, I try to keep the voice low because there's always neighbors popping from everywhere. And old souls. Over the years, I've been talking about chosen people, and I've given to you most of the signs that you will most likely consider if you would like to find out or to know that you are a chosen one. So many signs we've been talking about over the years. But today, I'm pretty much going to talk about the differences between the two, because the chosen ones and old souls, they have a lot of similarities. They are similar in one way or the other. So a lot of them are similar. But at the same time, there is things that actually differentiate the two of them. And I've come with my, I've done the list of the things I can think about. Let's see, we have about 9 important subjects I'm going to talk about when it comes to the two, the old souls and the chosen ones. There is 9 things we're going to talk about today in this video. So it is going to help you understand where do you fall, which category you're, because a lot of chosen ones, actually, they don't even know that some of them are old souls. So when it comes to chosen people, these are people who have come into this lifetime, into this planet, onto this planet from different dimensions. And a lot of them have actually discovered where exactly they come from, because along your journey, you'll also start to understand your path. Where did you come from? You start to understand more about yourself, you know what I mean, as a chosen one. And I've told you guys something very important in the beginning. I remember speaking about this before, and I told you guys that not all chosen ones are old souls, but all old souls are chosen ones. So let us say this one more time so that you guys get it properly. Not all chosen ones are old souls. But if you're an old soul, you best believe you're a chosen one. The reason of this is because old souls, they have got so many past lives. They have lived on this planet for so many generations of years. A long, long time ago. We're talking about thousands, we're talking about millions of years ago. Their souls, the reason why they call them old souls is because they have got very ancient souls. You know what I mean? So they are reincarnating. They keep on coming into this lifetime to carry out specific assignments. They are either choosing these assignments or they are actually appointed to come and carry out specific assignments in this lifetime on this planet. And that's the reason as to why it is most likely believed that a lot of black sheep in the family, they are all souls. So your soul is very ancient. Your soul is of the ancient. Your soul can date back millions and millions of years ago, thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years ago. You know what I mean? So you have got very, very old souls. But chosen people, they have reincarnated, they have come into this planet, on this planet, and they have chosen a path. They do not necessarily have to be old souls. These can be young souls, because a lot of chosen ones, the ones that I've seen around online, many of them are young souls. So they are young souls, and then they are old souls. So the young souls, they come onto this planet, and then they will actually identify a certain path, and they're going to stick to that path, which path is usually also to help the collective, to help other souls, to help other people in so many different kinds of ways. You know what I mean? So they will come around with their own ideas and their own knowledge, and they will craft out and develop this path that is also going to help other individuals around the world in so many different kinds of things. You know what I mean? You can be a chosen one who came in here, for example, and they say, okay, they have got this idea, this knowledge or wisdom. They know how to create money, or they know how to work around with money, or they know how to be abundant, or to be wealthy, or they can be a chosen one also who has got a lot of idea about plants, about they have got about a lot of ideas and knowledge about how the plants work, how traditional medicine works, how these kind of things work. So they are also coming in with that knowledge, and they're helping the collective. Okay, so they will tell, for example, a person may be a healer, for example. They may come in here with some healing abilities. They may tell, listen, if you want to heal from a certain type of a sickness, go take this plant and go take that root and go take this and go take that. And they're going to help you in that way to heal using plants or traditional medicine. But there's also chosen ones who are here for different purposes, so many different kinds of purposes. You know what I mean? They have come here and they have developed this path. And this path is aimed at helping other individuals because they have this knowledge as well. They don't necessarily have to be, and I'm going to come to the details of why am I saying this. So we have got about nine things we are going to cover in this subject today. So those chosen ones not necessarily have to be all souls. They can be chosen one, for example, who has come here and they can understand, they resonate and they relate with religion, for example. But an old soul, I do not know any old soul who resonates and understands religion, because religion is recent. A couple of years ago, many years ago, millions of years ago, there was no religion. So there used to be different kinds of beliefs people used to do, and the different way people lived in their own way. They did not actually identify with religion. So the first thing what I want to talk about in one of the lists I've come up with today, how do you know that you're an old soul? If you look at the old souls, they do not resonate much with religion, because if we're talking about a soul which dates back thousands and millions of years ago, or whatever, that soul knows on a very subconscious level, on a very, very deep spiritual level, that actually religion doesn't exist. So they do not actually resonate and relate with religion. So a lot of these old souls, they're not much into religion. They are into their own way of craft some things. There's things that they do, but that actually do not very much resonate with religion. Like Hudi has said, religion is a man-made concept. You know what I mean? Now, I do not go very much into the details, because sometimes when we speak out of these things, our channel start getting shadow banned and whatever. They start to, doing all these kind of things, whatever. So I'll not go into the details, but I'll just relate to you that a lot of old souls, they already understand that religion is man-made. So religion is just dating back a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? The old souls know this from a deep level, that religion is man-made, but the chosen ones, a lot of them that I've seen, actually they are resonating with religion. So sometimes you may be following a chosen one, for example, and sometimes they are reading a lot of these Bible concepts. They know about Jesus and the God and everything and all this kind of stuff. So they are very much into religion, you know what I mean? But the old souls, they are people who don't resonate in any way. I remember when I was a kid, so I was in school back in the days. From a very young age, I've never resonated with religion. So when they used to send us to go to church, I remember those days because I grew up in these Christian schools, you know what I mean? It was a Catholic school, to be precise. And I think I was the only one who was staying behind. So I did not like those things of going to church and, you know, this and that. Then we are sitting there, then we are singing, then we are reading something, then we are singing some hymns. All that thing was boring for me. You know what I mean? I was not relating in any way, anything to do with religion. Even the family that I'm born, it is a family of very religious people. So these are people who used to be much into religion, you know what I mean? So they used to pray at home and these kind of things. But me as a person, I was not relating with that. So I was always the person who was outside doing my own thing, or was somewhere in my in the kitchen, or was in my bedroom, I was with my friends. It had nothing to do with me. So when you're talking about all souls, these are people who do not in any way resonate with religion. And you see, the thing is, what is even the funny part? A lot of times, chosen ones, they come around, a lot of these young souls, because a lot of chosen ones are also young souls. So they will come around and they will start criticizing other people. You know what? Those people, they are satanists. You know, those things are demonic. Or because when you do this law of attraction and this and that, so they always demonize other people because they do not simply understand their souls. You know what I mean? So a lot of these young souls, these chosen ones who have got young souls, they do not understand where these old souls are coming from. So that's why when they're doing a lot of things, whether it is a craft they are doing, or whether it is something they are saying, or whether it is something they are teaching, a lot of these chosen ones, the young souls, they do not understand where those people are coming from. So you may sometimes see online a lot of these comments, even sometimes I've seen them on my channel. They're like, oh, you know, a lot of these people, you see them online, they are satanists and they are demonic and they are this and they are that, you know what I mean? And they are teaching these things, but you will never find an old soul who is actually criticizing chosen people. You know what I mean? So me, for example, I've been on this channel, on this journey for about 3 years now. But I don't remember myself coming around and starting to, you know, to aim at these other people, other people, so-called chosen ones who are saying that they are so much religious, you know, they are coming around with the Bibles, they are reading the verses and all those kind of things. I've never come here and criticized anybody. I've just simply told you from day one that I do not resonate and I do not understand this religion, because I've told you guys an old soul. Their souls are dating back in ancient times, and in ancient times there was nothing called religion in that time. So their souls do not recognize religion in its entirety. But as well, when you're talking about the chosen people, some of them, it may not necessarily be all of them, but a lot of chosen ones, they have got young souls, and those chosen ones, they actually understand, and they understand this religion. So that's why they come around, and sometimes they may give you a scripture, read that Bible verse, you know, they will tell you something about Jesus, they will tell you something about this, a lot of that stuff, you know what I mean? So the chosen ones who are young souls, the only thing they recognize is religion, but the old souls do not recognize religion, you know what I mean? So that's where the misunderstanding comes. And that's why all these critics come in and they start to, you know, try to make it an issue and try to come around and criticize and, you know, a lot of name callings and this and that, you know, they are demons, they are this, they are satanic and do this kind of things. And I've told you guys, normally, I'm a person who doesn't judge. So me, I like to watch things from a distance. Those videos may show up. I may sometimes watch them. They may start to say a lot of things about these guys who are demonic or satanists, but another old soul will recognize another old soul because they already know where actually those people are coming from. You know what I mean? But an old soul will never come around and criticize or sometimes abuse or say all these kind of things against chosen people. You know what I mean? So we don't do the same thing that those young souls are doing at the same time. So that's where the misunderstanding comes. And I just want to give you guys the real difference between these so-called chosen ones and old souls. And again, I want also help you guys understand that it does not always mean that everybody that says they are chosen, that they are actually chosen. You know what I mean? Not everybody comes around and tells you that they are chosen ones. They are really chosen ones. You know what I mean? Some of the people, they like the concept of being chosen. They could have come across this path, which was a very exciting path. So they hooked themselves onto that path. It happened to work for them. They follow that path. Probably they're even earning from it, or it's making them very excited and very, very inspired and things like that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody who is on a certain path is actually a chosen one. You know what I mean? So this is something I wanted to put out there so that you guys really understand. It is only upon you to use your discernment, understand the people who are teaching you the real things that you need to know and the real things that are actually moving you to the next level. Those are the people you need to follow. As long as you resonate with somebody's energy, follow them. They may always have something they want to share with you or they want to teach you. It's going to help you to move to the next level. You know what I mean? So the second thing I would like to talk about in my list is we are going to talk about assignments. So when we're talking about chosen people and all souls, we are going to talk about assignments or something that they call purpose. You know what I mean? So we'll discover that also chosen people, they tend to actually follow, what do they call it? The journeys and the purpose and the assignments of the two actually differ in a way that an old soul is somebody who is going to take up a very, very, very complex journey, a very complex assignment. So those individuals, because that's what I've told you guys many times in my videos, I've told you that the black sheep of the family, you guys are all souls. The assignment that you have, ladies and gentlemen, there is nobody in your family and nobody in your group, in your community, in your environment that can handle or has handled the things you can do or the things you can handle. You know what I mean? So the assignment of the two is different. You can find a chosen one who is having quite a simple assignment. It may look very simple to them, but actually it's a bit complex to other people. But when you see an old soul has jumped onto this path, a very, very, very complex path. So when you see an old soul, you are going to see the things that they are doing, the way they move, and the way even sometimes it may be something like their craft, for example. It is going to completely be very complex, and you're going to realize and notice that not anybody, even a so-called chosen one, like they always may want to say, to call themselves, can actually not jump on that path because it is a very extremely complex path. You know what I mean? So the chosen one, sometimes you may see them, they have come up with this concept, or they have jumped on a particular path to pave the way to help people deal with certain issues in their life. You know what I mean? But an old soul has come here to tackle extremely complex and very complicated assignments. You know what I mean? An old soul could be a person, for example, let me give you an example. Let's talk about the black sheep of the family. When we're talking about the black sheep of the family, we are talking about the black sheep who are here, which people are here to break generational cycles. I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, that not every chosen person can break a generational cycle. There is people who cannot handle that assignment, because that assignment you are dealing with, you are dealing with demons. You know what I mean? It's a very, very spiritual assignment, and you're dealing with demons. So you have even had actually these ideas and knowledge and the tools that you need to do this. You know what I mean? So not everybody can handle this assignment. There are some swords that are very big for other people to carry. You know what I mean? So the paths of the two people are going to be always different. The chosen one might have simple assignments, or sometimes they may be a little bit complicated in their own way. But you understand that actually an old soul could jump onto a chosen one's path, but a chosen one cannot jump onto an old soul's path, because they are all embodying different kinds of energies, and they are here for different kinds of assignments, and the assignments are completed, complex, and very, very difficult. You know what I mean? So when a chosen one may not be able to wear an old soul shoes, but an old soul is able to wear a chosen one's shoes. I don't know if that makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. So that is the second thing I wanted to clarify, the duties we have and the assignments we have on this world. So the black sheep you will see most of the times along your evolution, your journey of evolution, you'll also come to that realization that you are finding your path very, very, very difficult, very, very complex, and very, very extremely complex, and very, very difficult. You know what I mean? And you're going to come to that acceptance, because you see, this path that you'll be put on at some point, because I've told you guys, there will always come that time where you will at some point be activated, and this activation is going to put you on a particular path. You know what I mean? But whichever path you're going to follow after your awakening, it is a path that is going to actually be involving breaking generational cycles, because that is what you're here to do. Is the reason as to why you have been born into these families, very, very complex families, because you are dealing with demons and you're dealing with evil. You know what I mean? So the other thing I will talk about, for example, the differences we can talk about between chosen ones and old souls. So an old soul has got very uncommon wisdom. You see, a chosen one may talk about something. Yes, it may be uncommon, but a person can relate. You know what I mean? They may come around and tell you some few things here and there. If you want to do this, do like that, or do like this. A person may understand very easily because it's like very surface. But the old souls, their wisdom, I've told you guys, these are ancient souls. So their wisdom is extremely, extremely ancient. And that's the reason as to why sometimes when these people are teaching you, or when you meet them and you interact with them, or this and this, even sometimes you're going to feel their energy. A lot of these also, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, they have got that aura around them and a special energy around them. Wherever you're with those individuals, you are going to feel that energy is very, very intense. You know what I mean? So their wisdom, whatever they say, or the things they do, or the way they carry themselves, or even the path that they choose, a lot of things about them, they are very ancient. Is the reason as to why many people actually do not understand them. You know what I mean? So they are some of the most misunderstood people on this planet. We're talking about old soul. It may be very easy for a person to understand a chosen one, but it may be very, very difficult for a person to understand an old soul because they are ancient. They have got ancient wisdom that dates back millions or even sometimes hundreds of thousands of years ago. They have come in with this knowledge. They have come in with this wisdom. And most of the times when they are speaking, it may be sometimes things that they're saying that actually they feel like you're reading something out of a movie or a science fiction or something like that, because, and sometimes what is even funny, you may sometimes confront them, or even sometimes you may ask them, how do you know what you know? You know what I mean? I've had that question a lot of times, especially on TikTok. You know, for the most of you guys are not following me on TikTok, please go and follow me on TikTok as well. I've got a TikTok page running. Go and follow me on TikTok. So a lot of times you will see a lot of people coming around and asking you, how do you know what you know? Where do you get this wisdom? Where do you get this knowledge? So I remember in the beginning, people used to ask me things like, what kind of books are you reading? But you see, old souls, actually, which I'm going to come to this one as well. Old souls were not really reading a lot of books. Me personally, I don't read a lot of books. Actually, I don't even read books at all. I even hated school in the first place. I'm a person who used to sit in class, and the teacher would come in and they would be teaching things, and sometimes you would see even gaps in my textbooks and everything, because I did not want anything to do with reading books. You know what I mean? But you may find a lot of chosen ones who are actually relying on sometimes knowledge which is written in books. For example, I've told you that chosen ones, some of them, they're actually even reading the Bible. They know the Bible from the beginning to the end. They can tell you each and every scripture, each and every verse, all the prophets and all these things like that. A lot of these chosen ones, because they are young souls. But all souls do not have anything to do with books. They are not readers. They do not read. They simply have got this knowledge within them and this wisdom within them. And that's why sometimes when they are talking, it is very, very difficult to relate. Sometimes it takes a very big mind to understand an old soul, because when an old soul sits with you and they start to explain some things to you, you are going to think like actually you're speaking to a ghost. It is the most controversial people you will ever meet in this universe, because these people, they are going to tell you things you have never read anywhere, your parents have never talked about, your teachers have never told you in class, you have never studied, even in the books. They have got even wisdom that doesn't even exist in the books. You know what I mean? That's what they call an old soul. So if you're speaking to a person and you realize they have got very, very deep knowledge and wisdom, there is something they're talking about, very, very complex things. And it looks like even sometimes they may be, it's mind baffling, and even sometimes they are even confusing your mind even more. And you feel like you cannot even catch up with them. Their wisdom is so much that you cannot even sometimes catch up with them. You have got to better understand that you're most likely talking to an old soul. So those old souls, even sometimes you might have a kid, for example, a child, it could be a child. And this child is telling you a lot of things, and the child is already talking about past lives. You could have a child who has just started talking. The child has just started talking. In that tender age, the child is already talking about past lives. They're already talking about things that you do not even believe that child already knows. But on a very spiritual level and soul level, they actually already know, because those children in physical form, in those physical bodies, they look young in physical form, but their souls are very old. You know what I mean? That's why they're telling you sometimes things that you do not believe they can even know at that age. Even sometimes the way they behave or the way they carry themselves at that tender age, you're going to see a child is 5 years, but they're acting like they are 15 years old, or they're acting like they're 10 years old. Even sometimes they are developing and growing very, very, very fast. You know what I mean? So that's when you know that actually you are dealing with an old soul. When you ever encounter those individuals and they're telling you things that seem to be out of this world, you cannot relate in each other. Even sometimes they are mind twisting. You don't even know where do they get these concepts, and they have got a very strong conviction on those things that they're telling you or they're teaching you. then you had better know that you're dealing with an old soul. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between the chosen ones and old souls. So the chosen ones, like I've said, they're not necessarily old souls. They may just have this recent wisdom, recent knowledge. They know about the churches, they know about the religion, they know about a couple of things that have been happening probably 200, 300, maybe something 400 years ago. But old souls are dealing with things that have been happening thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. You know what I mean? Is the reason as to why these old souls, sometimes when they have decided whether they have been appointed to come into this lifetime to handle certain assignments, or whether they have chosen those assignments themselves, you're going to realize that those assignments, they already have the knowledge. They already have the conviction on the spiritual level. They have the conviction and the knowledge and the wisdom to handle those assignments because they know each and everything they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So that has been the third one. You're going to differentiate between a chosen one and an old soul depending on their wisdom, which is very, very uncommon, and they have got very, very ancient knowledge about a lot of things that are happening in this universe. So the fourth one, I'm going to talk about the real difference you can tell between an old soul and a chosen one is when it comes to material wealth, all souls are not necessarily materialistic. You know what I mean? So all souls, they are people who, they like living a very simple life. It may sometimes happen that usually they're wealthy, they're doing well, they have got the money to take care of themselves, they're living in normal homes, but they usually like to live a very simple life. They're not very complex people. We're talking about all souls. But when we're talking about chosen ones, there are some chosen ones who are actually into material wealth. You know, they like to be flashy a bit. You know, they like to wear these gold chains. Sometimes you may find them, they will have a certain type of cap and they're putting it this way, or something, a different type of clothes. They may be into these Gucci designer clothes, Versace, and all those kind of stuff. So that's when you know that actually we're dealing with a young soul. No, an old soul is a person who is a very simple person. So they may not really care about the cars they drive. They may just know that, okay, if I get into this car, I'll always get to my destination. If I sleep in this house, I'll still have a normal bed, I'll have a normal sleep, and they can always wake up the next morning like anybody else. You know what I mean? So the two people, you can differentiate them, old souls, because they have got these old souls and ancient souls. They do not necessarily have to be very rich and show a lot of wealth and, you know, come around and flash their cars and flash their man and the things like that. They are very simple people and very, very composed, down to earth people. But some chosen ones are actually flashy, you know what I mean? So they are more of material people, you know what I mean? They're materialistic a little bit, you know what I mean? They may sometimes flash their new watches. They may sometimes flash a new car, or this and this. They like to boast about whatever they have achieved in this lifetime on this planet. But the difference is that the old souls do not do that. So I do not know an old soul. And usually, even sometimes you can find old souls. They're already millionaires, very, very wealthy, but you will never see them coming around and they're telling you that they have bought a new watch, a Rolex. So sometimes they're flashing their stuff on camera or for other people to see and the stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's when you know the difference between the two of them. You will know that an old soul is a person who is not really materialistic, although they are very, very spiritually abundant. Even they have got the ideas and this knowledge of how to create abundance. We're talking about material abundance, but for them, they come from a spiritual perspective. But when talking about a chosen one is a person, sometimes we're talking about the young souls. They're the chosen ones who sometimes they have a lot of regard for material stuff and material wealth. You know what I mean? Sometimes the things they do, the way they carry themselves, they are a little bit modern compared to the old souls. You know what I mean? So sometimes you may find an old soul in a very simple house in their basement doing a craft or doing something in their simple form or whatever, you know. But a chosen one, a young soul also, you will find them that the two of them. So Michelle says, no Prada for me. So that's most likely, Michelle, you are an old soul as well, most probably. You know what I mean? So if you're a person who feels like you're not very much connected to material wealth, you're not attached. Yes, you can manifest these things because you've got that wisdom and knowledge to manifest that material wealth into your life. But it's not something that actually, you know, it makes you a different person because you're driving a certain car or you're living in a certain house or whatever, you're carrying yourself in a certain way. It doesn't mean a lot for you. But for the chosen ones, some of them, like I've seen them online, and you guys already know that I don't really mention a lot of these things. I don't mention people's names or characters on my channel. But I've seen some of them who are actually into wealth and all that kind of stuff. They like to show off and all this kind of, they like this kind of flashy lifestyle and everything. You know what I mean? They are doing what they are doing in their own way, helping people in one way or the other, but at the same time, they are too flashy. They are very much absorbed into material wealth and stuff like that. But the old souls, they focus on spiritual abundance. They are very people who are spiritual abundant. They already know who they are. That's the first thing. So they've got nothing to prove. You know what I mean? Because if they want to prove you, they'll prove you to that level whereby you might even stop talking. You may sometimes come around and try to show them that you're all that and you're all this, but they're just watching you from a distance and letting you be. They're just not coming around. They are not competitive. So they're not coming around to compete with you. You're driving a Bentley, then I'm driving a Toyota, or things like that. They are going to let you be in your own place, in your own way, and they're not going to judge you. You know what I mean? So that's when you know that you're an old soul. If you're a person who is not very much into material wealth, you focus on the spiritual wealth. You focus on spiritual abundance. You do not focus on material abundance. You know what I mean? Then the fifth one, that was the fourth one. The fifth one, how to know that you're an old soul. The difference between old souls and chosen ones is bravery. Now, an old soul is a very, very brave person, ladies and gentlemen. An old soul, I've told you guys, you do not mess with these kind of individuals. They are brave to that extent whereby, for example, I'll give you an example, a clear example. An old soul can wake up in the morning. Let's give another example, something that you guys already know. Let's say, for example, you're a black sheep of your family. You've been abused. You've been treated in a certain way. Maybe you've been defiled or you've been raped or this and that. There's things that have been happening to you in your childhood. You know what I mean? When you were as a kid, and you've been seeing all these things. So you've been scapegoated all your life. You can decide to get up one morning and walk out of your house without necessarily knowing where you need to go or where it is you're going. Actually, you can just walk out of the house and just go. You already know on the spiritual level, everything is going to be taken care of. You know what I mean? Because the universe did not send you here and it's going to abandon you off and desert you on the streets. And you know what I mean? You are always going to be taken care of in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? But the chosen one is a person they may have that heart to say something or to do something, but at the same time, they're a little bit laid back. You know what I mean? So they do not carry the same bravery like all souls. So when you see the two of them, chosen people and all souls, they are very, very brave because I've told you these guys are very ancient. You know what I mean? They are spiritually equipped with everything. You know what I mean? I've told you guys that the universe, God will give his biggest sword to his biggest warriors. So those individuals that have got the biggest sword, most of the time they are going to use it if need be. They are going to take out their sword and they're going to slice these demons in halves. But most of the time they just choose not to do it. You know what I mean? So those all souls are very brave people. And those people at the same time, they are people who do not really like recognize authority. You know what I mean? Because their soul is very ancient. And most of the times, the people they are dealing with, it could be their boss or their landlord or their manager, maybe their supervisor or their teacher in class. They do not really, they respect you. They take you, they carry you with respect and everything. They give you your own respect, but they do not fear you. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But you may find a chosen one who does not have that same level of bravery. You know what I mean? So there are some chosen ones, like I've said, the young souls. They do not carry that same level of bravery. A chosen one who is a young soul may want to know, okay, if I get out of this house, I've seen them many times on my channel. Oh, you know what? I'm afraid to leave my house because I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I don't know what's going to happen with my children. I don't know what is going to. So an old soul is going to wake up one morning, open the door, and they are going to leave. And you are never ever going to see those individuals ever again in your life. And they are going to walk into the unknown. So I think it is 2 or 3 days ago, I've done a video about the journey into the unknown. So for most of you guys who have not watched that video, you can always go back in the list. It's about 2 or 3 days ago. I did a video which is called The Journey into the Unknown. So those individuals that are going to wake up one morning and just walk out into the unknown, they do not know where they are going. They do not know where they are going to eat. They don't know where they're going to sleep. They don't know what they're going to do with themselves. But on a very spiritual level, they know that each and everything they need is going to be taken care of. So those are the chosen ones who you find that most of the times they are like nomads. You know what I mean? They may just skip from one house to another with just a t-shirt and a pair of shoes, and they just walk into a house and somebody hosts them at their house for 2 days or 3 days. Then you find them on a boat. They are going to move to an island. Then they live to an island for about 3 or 4 days or 5 days. So those people, they also tend to be nomads. If you know a chosen one who is a nomad, you had best believe that you're dealing with a chosen one who is an old soul. And again, I would like to clarify, very important, a chosen one, not every chosen one is an old soul, but all souls are chosen ones. You know what I mean? So the two of them have got some similarities, but they also have got a lot of differences between the two of them. So if you know a person who most likely is a nomad, you see them jumping from house to house, from country to country. Sometimes they're taking a bike, they're taking a bike to another country, then from there they're going to sleep at the person's place. And they do not have sometimes even the money, they don't have the resources, they don't have all the things they need on their journey. But on a very spiritual level, they know that on their journey they're going to be taken care of. And normally that's the case, you know what I mean? wherever they reach, they tend to find somebody else who is going to help them. They move from there to another one. They're going to find somebody who is going to move them from that place to another level. So they just keep on moving from place to place. Those people, they also tend to be nomads. So those nomads, they're all souls. They do not necessarily have to know where they are going. They just wake up one morning and just go into the wilderness and just go and find themselves and discover something new or do whatever it is they want. You know what I mean? So they do not necessarily have to know where it is they are going or what it is they need to do for the next day, which is not the same thing with chosen ones. Chosen ones want to know all the simple details. You know what I mean? They want to know who is going to provide the next meal, where am I going to sleep tonight, or who is going to take care of me and this kind of stuff. But the old souls, they're just waking up and going. And they do not need to know the details. So many times I've been telling you guys in my videos that when you're a person who wants to discover yourself, you want to move yourself to the next level, you do not necessarily have to know everything. Just wake up and go. You know what I mean? Wake up and go, ladies and gentlemen. The divine is going to take care of you. Each and every move you make on this planet, it has already been orchestrated very carefully by the divine. So you have nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? That has been the fifth one I want to talk about. And then the sixth one, you're going to see these people, sometimes they're equipped with, so we're talking about the all souls. All souls, they're equipped with healing abilities. And it is even very funny with all souls because the way an old soul heals is not going to be the same way a chosen one heals. An ordinary chosen one will heal. You know what I mean? A chosen one may tell you, for example, a fresh or a young soul may tell you, okay, go and read this verse in the Bible and do this and say this kind of incantations or something like that, and you will heal. But an old soul, this is why I want you guys to listen very closely. It is just by mere being in their presence. You are just going to be in their presence and they are just going to speak with you, just to talk with you. Even sometimes they may give you a simple touch and that is it. Your healing will start straight away. That is how you know an old soul and a chosen one, because an old soul, they have been equipped with these tools from the very moment they popped up in this planet. They have been equipped with the tools. They have everything they need on this journey. So most of the times they know that their path also includes and involves healing. So healing is a part of their journey. That's why you see a lot of times when they're teaching you or you're learning from them or they're helping you, you're starting to get healed. You feel like there's this healing energy around them. Whenever they talk with you or whenever you engage them or whenever they coach you on something or they teach you on something, you're going to start receiving a lot of healing just because you have simply engaged with them. So they may not necessarily have to tell you, okay, go and drink this type of tea or go and take this type of plant or go and do this. They may do that sometimes. But just being around an old soul, you're going to realize that you're experiencing a lot of healing happening in your life. You know what I mean? That is also how you know that the differences between these chosen ones and old souls. You know what I mean? They have got very powerful healing abilities. The chosen ones are also healers, but they have got a different way of healing. But old souls, you are healed by an old soul just by being in their presence. They are simply going to decipher a very, very complicated puzzle in your life. Because you know, sometimes what people don't understand is that everything that happens to us is energy. You know what I mean? So most of the times we're involved with very, very toxic, difficult energy. And that is the energy which is even sometimes making us very sick and sometimes making us very frustrated, very depressed, very stressed, most of the times. But when you're with an old soul, you may come to them and you sit with them and you talk with them and they exchange something with you. And they're going to break a puzzle that you've spent tens of years, couple of years trying to decipher. You've been trying to fill a puzzle for a very long period of time. They're just going to come around and tell you only one word. And it is going to break the whole puzzle, or you sometimes fill up the whole puzzle and the whole puzzle is going to be complete. That's when your healing is going to start immediately. So that's what they call an old soul. It's because, like I've said, it comes back to that ability that they have got very, very ancient wisdom. And that wisdom, they're also using it to heal other people. You know what I mean? So the wisdom, sometimes they have got those inputs that they will sometimes figure out your life and tell you things about your life. They may tell you, for example, listen, there's a very big likeliness because these individuals, on top of the healing abilities, they also tend to be psychics. A lot of these old souls, they tend to be psychics. So sometimes you may come to them and they may just tell you something. For example, they may tell you something like, listen, last night or last week you went to your grandmother. Yeah? Yes, I went to my grandmother. And they're going to tell you that, okay, your grandmother is most likely she gave you something to eat. Or is most likely she gave you something to drink. And you're going to say, yes, that's right what you said. And they're going to tell you, okay, you need to stop visiting your grandmother, and that's it. And from the very point forthwards, You have not gone back to your grandmother or your grandfather, whatever, the place where you went, and they have already told you where the problem was, even without being there, without knowing it, but they've already actually seen it on a very spiritual level that your problem has been caused by a certain individual. Just detach and disconnect from that individual, you're going to heal. And that is how they heal those people. Sometimes it may also be in a case whereby you may be in their vicinity, they may give you a hug, or sometimes they may touch you, or they may just sit around you, just be around you, just be around them, things like that. And you're going to experience healing to a degree you've never seen before, just by being around them. Only for you to discover in a couple of days, you're feeling that, actually, I feel like I'm better. You know what I mean? Last night I visited this person, or yesterday I visited that person. I feel like I'm better. You know, your things are starting to open up. You're starting to see a lot of these job opportunities coming in. You're starting to see a lot of relief. The stress is gone. The depression is gone. You're starting to experience healing. That is because you've engaged with an old soul. You know what I mean? It may not necessarily be the same healing abilities with the chosen ones. The chosen ones may have their own different healing abilities that they know, that they use on a daily basis to help people. But it's not the same energy with the chosen one, with an old soul. You know what I mean? So the two of them have got their own way of operation. The way they operate is not the same. You know what I mean? So that's when you know the difference as well between a chosen one and an old soul. So as I'm speaking these things, I want you guys to relate. Which one of those relate with you? Let us know in the comment section as well. I want to know which one are you. Are you an old soul or are you a chosen one? But remember, again, I would like to clarify, to continue clarifying that all old souls are chosen ones, but not all chosen ones are old souls. That one you need to put it in your head and just remember that, okay? Another thing I want to talk about, which is I think the seventh one, is we are going to talk about the loneliness. All souls, they tend to be loners. Now, all souls, for the most part of their journey, they spend out of their time alone. You know what I mean? They're alone, building their craft, developing their craft, taking care of themselves, taking care of their animals, their dogs, their farm, or things like that. But when you look at the chosen ones, who tend to be young souls, those chosen ones tend to have like this concept of wanting to be around people. They may have also their own alone time. They want to be alone at some point. But you may actually find a case that they are doing very well and performing very well when they're in crowds, when they're around people as well. You know what I mean? But the old souls, they struggle, extremely struggle, and it's very, very difficult for them to be around people. So whenever they're around people, so there's some people what they call the popular loners. You know what I mean? They're very popular, but on a very physical level, they're actually alone. They're alone in their own room doing their own things. And sometimes they don't even want company. You know what I mean? But sometimes you may see these chosen ones, they are in and out of people. People are coming around, visiting. There's a party. There's been something happening. They were there. They were that way. You know, they have been in a birthday party. There was a celebration. You may sometimes see them popping in and out of those kind of groups and places. But all souls, they struggle with that. Even sometimes to drag and also to an occasion or to a party, you may have to actually drag them by force. Otherwise, they're going to tell you that they will simply tell you they're not going to attend at some point. And they may even sometimes let you down. So most of the times when you're dealing with this kind of people and you want to go, you want them to come. Yeah, come, you know, there's a wedding going on, there's a party here, there's a party there. They may tell you, okay, let me think about it. Give me some time, I'm going to think about it. And then they're going to call you and tell you, hey, listen, I've decided not to come because I'm dealing with something in my garage, or I'm doing something in my garden, or I'm taking care of my animal. So they're going to actually let you down and they're not going to come. But you may as well invite a chosen one, and the chosen one is going to show up at that occasion. You know what I mean? So they may usually get along with people, although the both of them spend a lot of time alone. But it is also very difficult for an old soul to relate with groups of people. You know what I mean? They cannot do very well with groups of people because they are very, very much overwhelmed with energy. So sometimes you may see a chosen one, for example, who goes to the pubs. They may go to the pub and have a drink, or they may go to a different type of restaurant. People, even a concert, a place where actually there's a lot of people. But you cannot find an old soul in those places because those old souls, they are overwhelmed with energies. You know what I mean? Whenever they're around those places, they are completely drained. It's like, because I've told you these guys, they've got a very healing energy. So sometimes when they're in those places, even people are subconsciously tapping into their energy without them knowing it. So they may sometimes show up in a group of people and they walk away very drained. And they think, that, oh, why am I feeling drained after attending that wedding or attending this meeting? They are feeling very drained. And then I'm going to see them going away into the woods, into the nature, you know, by the lake, and try to recharge. You know, most of the time they spend a lot of time recharging. You know what I mean? But a chosen one, you're going to see a chosen one actually who is even sometimes going for a drink with their friends. You know, they have a group of friends, 10 of them, 20 of them. They're going around, they're having a drink and enjoying something. So they can actually relate with groups of people, which is not the same thing with an old soul. So an old soul, you cannot find them in the pubs. That is one place you will not find an old soul, because they already know the energy that is associated with those kind of places. Sometimes the energy is very dense in those areas. And when they actively involve in those areas, they're going to feel extremely drained, and they have got a lot of time. They need a lot of time to recharge. You know what I mean? But the chosen one can actually be in a group of people. They can go to a party, they can go to a pub, they can go for a drink, they can even sometimes date certain types of women. You know what I mean? And for them, it's still not a problem. But that's not something what an old soul will do. So that's when you know that's when you know the difference, the real difference between the two of them. So I've told you guys continuously that both of these people, they are chosen. Yes, an old soul is a chosen one, but not all chosen ones are all souls. So that's where the difference comes in, because we are dealing with a very ancient soul, and sometimes we are dealing with a chosen one who has just jumped onto a particular type of path to do a particular thing for some people in this collective, on this universe, on this planet. So that's why you know the difference. They are loners, both are loners, but all souls cannot relate with groups. They are alone, doing their own thing, taking care of themselves, recharging and doing things, teaching, doing their spiritual practices. But the chosen ones, yes, they spend time alone, but at the same time, they can engage with groups of people and they can go to parties. Even sometimes you may see them having a drink somewhere, and they relate with some groups of people. It's not the same, the two of them. The seventh one I'm going to talk about. So I've got about 9 different things I want to talk about. The seventh one I would like to talk about is self-healing. Now, this is what I want you guys to understand. When we're talking about self-healing, we're talking about people who have got the ability to naturally heal themselves without any help. I've told you guys, when I left the narcissist 3 years ago, I was exhausted. I had gum disease. I'd already lost a couple of teeth. My body was aching. I had acne. I had problems with my gut. I remember visiting a doctor. The only reason I visited the doctor was because of the acne. So I wanted to know what was this thing flashing all over my skin and everything. So they checked it and everything is okay. They recommended some special creams, and it went. After a very big struggle, I struggled with it for about, it could have taken a month to struggle with the acne, but the acne left. But the rest of the things is history. We're talking about gum disease, we're talking about stomach problems, we're talking about everything that I'd had in that time was gone. And most of the healing, I've done it by myself. So I did not get help, not like different types of medication, jumping in and out of psychiatrists, psychologists, therapy, those kind of things. I've not had even a session of therapy ever since I left a narcissist. But when you look at me at this moment, and I tell you that I was abused by a narcissist, and I was in very bad shape, you may not even sometimes believe it. So all souls, they have got very ancient healing abilities. They know how to work around with nature. They know how to play around with nature and how to manipulate this energy to even sometimes transmute negative energy into the positive energy. So they know that, okay, so this energy is negative. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I transmute, so they are transmuters. They know how to transmute energy and turn it into a positive. So that's why they get these healing abilities. And a lot of these things, they know it on a very, very deep level. Like I've told you guys, these are things they have come in with this knowledge. They have come in with this ancient wisdom and knowledge. So they know all these things that they need to do. The only thing that it takes for an old soul to rediscover themselves is when they come to that point of awakening. That's when they will know, they will remember who they are. And that's when all this knowledge and wisdom is going to come in, because they have already been embodying this wisdom within them, within their DNA. It was just a matter of them getting activated. So the very moment they get activated, that's where all these things now start to come in. The knowledge, the wisdom, their life path and the purpose and everything is going to start coming to them naturally, without any help, without any doctors, without anybody. So there are people who self-heal, you know what I mean? But a chosen one may not have that capacity to self-heal themselves. So the chosen one, sometimes they can rely on all souls for healing, or sometimes a chosen one can rely on actually local medical methods of healing. They may sometimes go in therapy, they may be with psychiatrists, they may have a doctor every now and then checking on them, regular checks with the doctors and things like that. But an old soul, they heal themselves. All the old souls, they will tell you that actually, regardless of whatever has been happening in their journey, in their lives, they have actually done the healing work by themselves. So they have not been aided, they have not been helped, they have done everything by themselves. And they have come to that full sense of healing. You know what I mean? That's when you know the difference between an old soul and the chosen one. So an old soul can self-heal, but the chosen one, not all of them can self-heal. Some of them actually, they rely on local methods, medics, psychologists, psychiatrists, I don't know, therapy, things like that to heal. But an old soul, they do that by themselves. So they are self-healing. The last one I want to talk about, actually, I think I have another one. I have an extra one. I want to talk about dating when it comes to old souls. Now, old souls, they are people who, they are very attracted to older people. So if it's a woman, for example, let's give an example, a woman who is 20 and they are dating, so they're into dating. You may sometimes see them, they're attracted to dating men of older age. So they may sometimes date men who are twice their age. And they're very comfortable with that. So when you tell them about dating their age mates, for example, a woman is 20, she may not necessarily date another woman who is 20. They may sometimes do it, but most of the times they are going to actually be attracted and be drawn towards older people, sometimes even people who are twice or even sometimes thrice their age. You may sometimes see a person who is 60 years, for example. The woman is 20 years and the guy is 60, and they are dating. They even have a family together. And that's how they feel comfortable. You know what I mean? They have got that attraction to people who are of an old age. Because I've told you guys, these are already old souls, they're ancient souls. So their souls are very ancient. And their souls are actually very, very much drawn to people who are older than them. So that's when you know that the difference between old souls and chosen ones. So ordinary chosen ones, they may sometimes go around and date people who are their age, or sometimes people who are younger. They may sometimes date. Me personally, very many times I've been dating like women who are older than my age. You know what I mean? Who are older than me. You know what I mean? Could be like maybe not really older, but I've dated sometimes people who are 10 years older than me, sometimes maybe 15 years older than me, when I was even younger, you know what I mean? So I've dated usually people who are older than me. So it is something which is very common with old souls. Old souls, usually they will date people who are older than them for some reason, because they just feel that energy is like they match up with that energy very quickly. They will match up with older energies more than they will match up with younger energies, if that makes sense. So usually they will have some relationship here and there with people with their age mates, with their age groups and things like that. But it not always be the case. Most of their relationships, the real long relationship they will always have in their lives, they're going to be with old people. 10 years older, 5 years older, 6 years older, even sometimes 15 years older. You're going to see a lot of these old souls, they are actually dating people who are older than their age. You know what I mean? So that's when you know the difference between the chosen people and old souls. So sometimes you see a lot of these chosen ones, they are very much into, they like dating maybe younger girls, or if it's a woman, she likes dating younger guys or things like that. Or sometimes people who are around their age mate, or maybe sometimes a year or two older, things like that. But an old soul is going to surprise you, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to find a couple and you will be shocked. A woman who is about 30 years and the husband is 60 years. And you're thinking that, what is this woman doing with a 60-year-old man? Only for you to discover that that woman actually is an old soul. So they are only drawn to that kind of energy because they feel like they can very much relate with those people on a very, very deep spiritual level, because those people, they like people who challenge them. You know what I mean? Old souls, they're people who date. The reason as to why you see a lot of these old souls very much struggling with dating and relationships is because old souls, they like people who challenge them. You know what I mean? So they like people who are even sometimes emotionally mature. So sometimes you're dating with them and it's like they want a challenge each and every single day because they're here for challenges. You know what I mean? That's what they're here for. So they're into these dates. And every single day they're being challenged to do better, to become better, to grow more, because these people, they are very fast learners. That's another thing. So those people, they date older people because they believe the older people carry a different type of energy and a different type of wisdom and knowledge. You know what I mean? So they know that they are going to wake up every single day and they're continuously going to be challenged each and every single day to do better, to work more, to be brave, to be more powerful, to be more wiser, to be, you know, they like every day waking up with a challenge. That's why they're actually dating, even sometimes befriending older people, the people who are actually older than their age. So that's when actually you tell the differences between chosen people and old souls. On the contrary, chosen people, they date regular people. They date people who are their age, maybe sometime younger, their age range, things like that as well. So it is not always the same thing when we're talking about chosen people and all souls. So the only thing that people don't understand is that the two people are chosen for particular missions and assignments, but then the all souls. So not all chosen ones, they are all souls, but all souls are actually all chosen because they have come here. Either they have been appointed to come out and carry out specific assignments, or they have chosen those paths themselves prior to reincarnation. Because those people, the reason why they call them all souls is because they have reincarnated. So their souls are dating back to ancients of time. You know what I mean? They've got very, very ancient souls. So those people at the same time, you may find it, their energy sometimes is very, very, very strange and intimidating. So an old soul has got this energy around them whereby they like to help people. They are very compassionate. They are very empathic. And they are very beautiful souls. They are very beautiful from the inside. But sometimes people struggle to approach them. You know what I mean? So if you're a woman, for example, you're an old soul, you may sometimes see men struggling. You know, they kind of afraid about you. They like you at the same time because they like things about you, whether it is spiritually or sometimes it's your body they like, or sometimes your intelligence, your emotional intelligence. But at the same time, when they come to you, they are feeling very, very challenged because your energy is challenging them. Everything you do about yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you take yourself, the things you do, the things you speak about, everything is challenging for them. And sometimes it's very difficult for them to approach you. So that's why sometimes you see these relationships are struggling with those kind of old souls. They may sometimes get into relationships, but they need to get relationships with the person who actually matches their energy. So you guys have heard about things, for example, an old soul can only date a person that is their soulmate, because on a very spiritual level, those people, they can relate, their energies can actually match up together and relate. You know what I mean? So that's why they find it very easy to date people that are in a very, very similar energy and frequency. You know what I mean? So you don't be surprised if you're an old soul and you're looking for love, and then it's like you have this problem whereby people are struggling to come and approach you. They are watching you from a distance. They want to say something. Maybe there's a neighbor who lives in your vicinity, and they've got a crush on you. But at the same time, they cannot come around and put their point on the table. They cannot come around and tell you that, listen, I'm interested in you, I want to date you, or things like that. They feel that they're spiritually challenged each and every single day. They want to date you, but they're afraid about you. But at the same time, the chosen one is a person who doesn't really struggle with dates. Yes, they may struggle here and there sometimes, but at the same time, it may be sometimes easier for them to get into a relationship. You know what I mean? So the chosen one can date easier than an old soul. I don't know if that makes sense. Even if it's at least for a short while, you can be, for example, 6 months or whatever, a year or something like that. They can actually get into a relationship with ease. But an old soul doesn't get into a relationship very easily. You know what I mean? So that is also how you know that, how you know the differences between the two of them. So they have got similar things that bring them together, similar characteristics and personalities in their personality, but at the same time, they have got things that actually differentiate between the two of them. You know what I mean? The last one I want to talk about, this is a bonus one. So about the difference between these people, the chosen ones and all souls. And this is this is something which actually sometimes causes something what they call spiritual ego. You know what I mean? So you guys have heard about something they call the spiritual ego. So an awakened all soul is a walking encyclopedia. These people, you do not know where they get their knowledge. You don't know what books they are reading. You don't know where they're getting their information, but they know. They simply know. You know what I mean? You come to them and they are going to decode something you have struggled with for a very long period of time to understand. You have been spending all your life looking for the answers. They are going to come around to you. You're going to come around them and meet them. In 1 minute or two, they will break down something you've been trying to decode for almost 10, 15 years, even 20 years. They will just tell you something, that is what is happening. You can forget about the other ones, that is what is happening. That's why you need to look. So you're going to come to them and they are going to point to you the exact direction you need to go. So they will tell you, okay, listen, you've been dealing with, as you're speaking, because these people, they are very mysterious as well. That's why they call them mysterious. Because when you come to them, for example, they are going to tell you that, listen, I've been hearing what you've been saying. When you're talking to them, they are very strange. Sometimes when you're talking to these old souls, they will take time to listen. They will just be very humble. They're very humble people, and they'll be watching you. You talk. And when you're talking, they are They are constructing everything. Now they are understanding all these patterns. They are seeing where you're coming from. They have already seen why you're saying the things you're saying, what is going on with your life, who did what and who did this and who did that, where did the problem come from. By the time you finish with the conversation, they're only going to tell you one word. And it's going to be the answer to the entire conversation. It doesn't matter if you've been speaking to them for 10 hours, 5 hours. They will be listening. They will be taking their time to listen to you. And they're going to end their conversation with only one word. And that word is going to break down and decipher the entire conversation, what you've been talking about. And you're going to leave that place very, very satisfied. You will not even know, how do they know? Where do they have that information? They don't even know you. They don't know your parents. They don't know your family. They don't know which schools you went to. They don't know your religion. But they're going to tell you one word. And one word is going to decipher the entire conversation. And exactly that problem is going to come to the table. This is exactly what you're dealing with. So they have got knowledge and wisdom that is ancient. You ask them, how do you know these things? They tell you they don't know how they know, but they know. You know what I mean? And most of the times, if not even 99%, 100%, most of the times, they're right. You will go around try to challenge them. You say, oh, this person has said this, you know, they have said that and they have said this. And you will go in circles and they're just waiting for you to come back to the point. You will go in circles and you go in circles, you come back to the point that and you're going to discover that actually what they talked about 2-3 years ago, that was the truth. So they may come to you, for example, and they will tell you something today. We give an example, real case scenario. So they will come to you and tell you something today. And you'll have your doubts. You'll be like, I don't really doubt that. This is what is going on, because the knowledge, that wisdom is very, very too hard to believe. When talking with an old soul, the information they have and the wisdom they have is almost impossible and too hard to believe. They will tell you something and you'll walk away. And you guys will part separate ways. You will go your way, they will go their way. And you will go in circles trying to understand. You will be thinking about something they have told you. This person said something 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago. And you're trying to challenge them to see, is that thing what they told you the truth? Only for you to come back to the point and actually find out that actually whatever they told you many years ago, it was the truth. So those are guys who know something in an instant. They do not know how they know, but they know. You know what I mean? Because all these things are very, very subconscious. They're very subconscious things. So they know these things on a very spiritual and a very soul level, very subconscious level. The things that even sometimes the human mind cannot comprehend and even sometimes cannot relate or even understand. So it's the reason as to why you see people, they call you strange. Sometimes people, they are trying to find a name for you. They call you mysterious. Oh, the guy is so funny. He's so strange. He's so weird. He's so this, he's so that. You know what I mean? Guys, give me a second. I'm coming back. I think there's a knock on the door. So they tend to know things that other people, the human mind, normal human mind cannot comprehend. How do you know this? I don't know. Who told you this? Nobody. Where did you read this from? Which books are you reading? Where are you getting your knowledge? I'm not reading anything, but they know. So if that makes sense. So those individuals, they are walking encyclopedias. They do not have books they are reading. They are not readers. A few of them, they like to read a few books here and there. They only read the books which is like teaching them something new or sometimes adding on to their knowledge, you know what I mean? And they like to read a lot of spiritual things. So when you see a lot of these old souls, they like to read books that are related to spiritual knowledge. So things that probably are, you know, are enhancing their knowledge or things like that. But most of the times, they do not pretty much relate with books. They do not read a lot, so they don't like a lot of reading, you know what I mean? That's why a lot of old souls, they don't go to school. So many of them, they drop out of school. They spend some time in school and they're like, it's not working for them. So you see them, they're just dropping out of school. So many of them, they're school dropouts. You know what I mean? So that's how you know that actually you're dealing with an old soul. But chosen people, yes, they know some things. They will teach you some things here and there. But it may not be difficult to understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean? Because some of them, like I've said, they are young souls. So they know some stuff on a very surface level. Yes, they know some other things which are a bit complex, but somewhere you can relate to them. But when you're talking about an old soul, is a person, you will always forever misunderstand those individuals because you do not know what they are saying, how are they saying it, where are they getting it from, and everything about them. They are simply walking encyclopedias. So sometimes you may find them controversial. Some people, they want to call them controversial because sometimes people, they're like, they don't understand you because they are trying to understand you, they're trying to focus, and then you tell them something, but they cannot get it in their head because it is not sinking in. It's like you're teaching them, telling them, hey, this is what is happening, that is where to go, this is what to do. The knowledge is not sinking in. It's just, there's this shell, there's something like a shell in front of you, and the knowledge is not sinking in, but what they're telling you is the truth. But your subconscious is going to pick up one thing of what they have told you, and you're going to see that thing actually manifest in some years to come or some months to come. You're going to see, oh, these people, they told me the truth. I remember that's why sometimes an old soul, you will see people calling you. So they will call you, for example, after a year or after 2 years, and they're going to tell you that, hey, listen, 2 years ago, you told me something about my father or something about my mother. In that time, it didn't make a lot of sense. I didn't understand where you were coming from. I didn't understand what you were saying. But now, they're remembering what you told them, you know what I mean? And they're saying, okay, they are confirming actually what you told them is the truth. So that's when you know that you're dealing with an old soul. Those people, they know a lot of things. But again, you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, I do not say these people, they're perfect. Everybody has got their own flaws in their own way. They have got their own addiction. Sometimes they are very, very highly addicted people. Sometimes they can get addicted to a certain drug or a certain behavior or whatever, but they have got their own flaws at the same time. But at the same time, they know how to work on those flaws. You know what I mean? So they are. It's like what do they call it? They are working on themselves each and every single day to better themselves. You know what I mean? And also the people around them. So they are not perfect, but at the same time, they are very different. You know what I mean? They are very controversial. Some people want to say controversial. The people don't understand them. They call them controversial. Some people say some people completely misunderstand them. Some people even hate them because of their knowledge and their wisdom. Some people will be like, why does this person seem like they know everything? How come that whenever I'm struggling with something, they're the ones with the answers? They're the ones who know where I need to go, what I need to do, and this and this. So sometimes that's where the thing comes in. So sometimes you will see a lot of times in this spiritual community, you have something what they call the spiritual ego. You know what I mean? Because sometimes all souls, they challenge other chosen ones in so many different things. And sometimes these chosen ones, because they don't understand where these people are coming from, they have got, their souls are different. And they actually do not understand where are these people coming from. How come they know this and I'm probably chosen one, but I do not know this. You know what I mean? So that's why you see a lot of these spiritual ego coming into play, and you see a lot of jealousy. Sometimes you see a lot of them, they will start to come around and talk about another chosen one who is doing this. You guys have heard about these fights sometimes. Fights, I don't know if I can call them spiritual fights or stuff like that, but there are sometimes these things that come up between chosen people, and you see them, they look like they're fighting each other, but actually on reality, it's just the ego. The ego kicks in. A lot of these people in the spiritual community, they also have got something what they call the spiritual ego. And this thing is called caused by sometimes understanding people that they know something or they can do something that actually another chosen one cannot do. You know what I mean? So there are people on different paths, and sometimes they fail to understand their paths. You know what I mean? But you see also there are people who they stay in their own lane. So it's the reason as to why you don't see a lot of channels with all souls. They're coming around and bombarding somebody with negative comments or this and that, and they're fighting this one and they're fighting, and they're all doing the same thing. You know what I mean? So for example, me, I cannot come on my channel and I will start to bombard another channel because they are doing something or they are saying something which I don't actually agree with. So most of the time you see a lot of these old souls, they'll just step back and watch everything from a distance. But you see a lot of these other chosen ones, they will come around and start bombarding other people. Oh, they are satanists, they are demonic. Why are they doing this and why are they doing that? It's just because they do not understand your soul. It's the reason as to why you see a lot of these fights which are coming in sometime in the spiritual community is two people doing different things. One actually understands the other one, but the other one doesn't understand the other one, where they're coming from. So that's why you see the difference between these chosen people and all souls. So that's how to tell the little differences I've told you guys. I've given you about 10 of them to know the differences between the chosen ones and all souls. So I'm going to take some time to read your comments, guys. I hope we have done something today. We have said something that makes a lot of sense, and it can give you some enlightenment along your journey as well. So I'll take some time to read some comments before we close, because I promised to end this video. Guys, I'm going to need, I think I'm in the moderator, because sometimes when the comments are going through, I cannot read everything at the same time. Dian Odom Dan, may God add a blessing to your life always, man most high. We don't play games or compete. That is Joshua Anzalona. Spirituality cannot be bought. That is Michelle. You couldn't pay $1 million to stalk someone. That is Joshua. Wikipedia, I feel like I'm brave because I see other people caving in to abusers while I call them out. That's a comment from Wikipedia. So there's a comment from Michelle. That confirms it. I had no fear when I watched Narcissist. A narcissist shapeshift into a demonic entity with black eyes. That's a comment from Michelle. So, Hoodie, I kind of disagree with some of what you said, Denzo. So, this has been my perception and my experience. So, if there's something like for example, you guys know this is a live, you can agree or disagree. If you don't agree on something, let us know in the comment section below so that we learn also from you. You know what I mean? You can drop us a comment in the section and let us know what is your view. Because some original souls, now I don't know in relation to what, because some original old souls can be misled off their path. An old soul, you're talking about something that they call going back to sleep. A person who has been misled off their path, they can be temporarily put to sleep. They can actually go back to sleep. So there is some people who are awakened. They know this path. They know what they're here to do. They have their own way of doing things. They have understood what they're here for. And then sometimes they can temporarily get back to sleep. It can be sometimes due to society, due to their families, due to maybe sometimes relationship partners or things like that. They can be misled off their path. But an old soul, a real old soul, is going to come back to that path. Because a person who has awakened once can also awaken again. So if you have awakened once, and you've been put back to sleep for some reasons, depending on society or whatever, what has been happening around you, you can always reawaken and get back on your path. So if that's what you've been trying to mean, then I think all souls have a renegade mind. That is Michelle. I'm cruising through them here very quickly. There are so many of them. I've not been reading everything. We're here to help those that cannot help themselves. Be the light to show them the way to finding their authentic self. So what happens here, I think I'll just put some highlight on that comment. What happens here is that there's a lot of unawakened chosen people on this planet as well. So the awakened ones also, they help other chosen ones to discover themselves and to discover their path. So for example, there are some chosen ones who don't even know they are chosen. They don't even know they are chosen ones until you come actually talk to them and start teaching them something. And, you know, sometimes you may be able to awaken them, even sometimes open their eyes. So like Michelle says, a very good comment. We are here to help those that cannot help themselves. Be the light and to show them the way to finding their authentic self. Thanks for that, Michelle. Joshua hates large crowds. There's been thousands of comments going on. I didn't even read all of them. Let's see. So Hoodie says, oh, where is it? That is, oh, I've lost Hoodie's comment. What is it? Yeah. Well, it's more to it than that, because when you put someone in an illusion, it's like a maze, so it will be hard to wake up due to the fact that you can't fall a victim to these traps. They always feel they are being left out and are entitled to be in others' lives. I would love to be a moderator. Okay. I will check on my channel and I can at least one or two, because sometimes I cannot go through the comments at the same time. Okay, that is from Michelle. The matrix is collapsing. Too much light shine on the evil's darkness. Evil cannot operate in light. Truth is coming out. This is a great time of awakening. That's from Michelle. Hoodie says arrogance is the catalyst of ego. New and Old Tech says, one Nak said she was an old soul. I guess that it just as well could be another entity. I've heard about a Nak telling me that she was spiritually awakened. And then there was a lot of this spiritual stuff and everything. Then I was thinking that, wow, this person is actually awakened. You know, sometimes these Naks, the Naks, sometimes, you know what is funny, the funny part? Sometimes the Naks, they are going to mirror your energy, you know? I remember doing a video about the spiritual narcissist, and I told you, ladies and gentlemen, the guys who are waking up, the ones who are awakened, the awakened souls, a narcissist is going to come into your life and they're going to tell you that they're awakened. Oh, you know, I'm awakened and everything. And you're going to see them, they are going to mirror everything about awakened people. What they do, they have mastered everything, they have studied everything. Only for you to find out later on that actually you're dealing with a spiritual narcissist. So that is very common to people who is waking up. Marvin. What's up, Marvin? All right, I'm going to post this video straight away from here, and I'll appreciate each and every one of you that has given us the comments in the chat, and everyone who has watched and participated in this live. I appreciate each and every one of you for supporting me this entire time. I wish you the best of the Sunday. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Ladies and gentlemen, see you soon.